quite low on fuel, so I hope it doesn't run out. It did visually check the tank, so I think it should be okay. I think the performance is okay. Oh, sorry. I think the performance is okay. The foot peg position, for me it's a bit rear set, although actually it's probably not. It's kind of right underneath where my butt is on the seat. But from my Harley experience, it feels a little rear set for me. It's just that, my Harley experience, and also my previous experience from the Royal Enfield Bullets, which are also slightly forward set compared to most of the bikes. Again, conditions are a little difficult to really test the performance, but the initial pull is quite good. Can you tour on this? I think you can. The seat, it's a flat bench, as you probably know, so it lets you move back and forth a little to get the ideal position for you. Now right now I think I'm sitting pretty much at the forwardmost position, and that seems okay for me. I mean, even at that position the handlebars are far enough in front of me, so I wouldn't need to go back anymore. So that would give plenty of room for the passenger. Again, I'm thinking about the passenger space from a touring point of view. Rear ABS kicked in there, of course, as expected. It was a sandy surface. Let me turn around here because I'm not sure if I have enough fuel to do a longer route. It's quite stable. I mean, it's not difficult to handle at all. The handlebars themselves are slightly lower. I'm not sure. There are, of course, options, not original Royal Enfield options, but there are aftermarket options to put on risers and other handlebars which are higher, so that would give you a more upright seating posture. But I think slightly, bent forward is good, because that lets you avoid the wind blast. I mean, it doesn't let you avoid it, but it's easier for you to deal with it than if you were sitting completely upright. Performance, really, I think it's quite adequate. It doesn't pull as hard as my Harley, my Sportster, but still quite decent. If I compare to the TRK, it's kind of similar, although it needs lesser throttle input than that one did. I like the torque, the spread of torque. I would have liked to have a gear indicator, because that does help, but then again, I'm totally used to riding without one from my Harley. Nice pull. Brakes are also quite okay. Overall, the bike feels quite nimble, and bit similar to my Harley, but not as wallowy. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but that felt a little more bulky. This is a lot more sharp, if that's the right word. Of course, it's a much smaller and lighter bike as well. It's around 202 kilos, I think. The Sportster without any add-ons was 268 or so, I think. Without any add-ons, not even a passenger seat. So mine, I'm sure, would have weighed close to 300 kilos. Neutral was easy enough to find. Bike itself is quite dirty because it's been drizzling every now and then. I'm not sure in which gear I am. I think I'm in third, but it's not struggling, it's not lugging. I was at 2000 RPM back then. It was pulling quite smoothly. Okay, let me make a U-turn here and get back. And that'll be pretty much it for the test ride. Yep, that was third. I'm stalling this quite a bit. The clutch has a lot of play. Look at this. I don't think that's normal. That was a good test of the suspension. See? I don't know why I'm stalling it so much. So hi guys, I just test rode the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. Yeah, I kind of wanted to go ride the KTM 390 Duke as well, because they're kind of in the same price range and similar performance profiles. But of course, yeah, very different motorcycles in terms of the riding style and so on. Yeah, but it just started raining, so I'm kind of dropping the plan to go to the KTM showroom right now. Maybe some other day. So how did I like the Interceptor? Quite good actually. I think the test ride bike was not in the best shape. I probably had been dropped. The right brake pedal was slightly bent. That itself wasn't much of an issue, but the handling was a bit. It didn't feel very neutral. So maybe there were other, handlebar bends or whatever. And then again, it was a very short ride, so it was difficult to get a good impression of how it would be performing say at higher speeds. Although in the city it seemed to be quite okay. Like I said, it was heavy, but at the same time kind of sharp handling. Well, it did not feel heavy as in me holding it up when at a standstill or anything like that. It just felt heavy from the handlebar movement. The handlebar seemed kind of stiff. Of course, that's good for high-speed stability. and I'm not sure if that's something that's been deliberately done or it's just a side effect of how the overall design of the bike is. The rain seems to have stopped for now, so maybe I'll visit the KTM showroom. Yeah, maybe I will. Let's see. Okay. No mirrors again. Wow. This thing really pulls. Ah, no mirrors. Hate riding without mirrors. But this thing really pulls, my god. This feels way more lively than the Interceptor, of course. Seating posture is definitely sporty. I mean, my feet are tucked way behind, but you know, somehow, maybe because of the handlebars, it doesn't feel as bad as it feels fairly upright, is what I mean. The bike feels quite a bit more vibey, you know, you can feel the vibrations on the tank and on the pegs. Wow, the pull is really strong. Overall, the bike feels quite a bit sporty. I mean, the pull is strong enough. Well, the pull itself doesn't scare me, but I'm still not feeling very confident about cornering this thing fast, especially if I have to brake with something unexpected. The low RPM hauling capability is a little less on this, so which basically means that the low down torque is kind of lacking. So like I'm in 4th gear, 4000 RPM, it's lagging a bit when I accelerate. But in the lower gears, like 1st and 2nd, wow, it pulls like crazy. In fact, the pull is almost similar to the Z650. Wow. Oh, this is scary. So guys, now that I've ridden the 390 Duke, I really like the performance. I mean, I had heard a lot about how good this bike performed, but I didn't expect it to be this good, you know. It's awesome. I mean, I really did not expect this kind of performance from 400cc. It's almost like the Z650 I tried earlier. So it's more than adequate grunt. Of course, it's because the bike itself is so light. So once you put on a passenger and maybe some luggage, I'm not sure how much that will dampen the performance, but I expect it won't be a lot. But only thing is, I like the riding posture as well, but I can't tell how it's gonna be over long durations, so how touring capable it's gonna be for me. And of course the big question is, how much luggage can you carry on it? Because the bike itself is so small. If you stick out a big luggage rack and top case, it's just gonna look ugly. And the same thing goes with panniers or side cases. You can only put on some really small ones. Well, the story is about the same with the Interceptor as well. You can't really put on big cases, and well, I think I can get away with a somewhat large top box, but I still have to go with small side cases only, or side bags in fact. So the same side bags won't look bad on the Duke as well, but the top box, I'm not sure how big a top box I can go with. Strangely, the Duke is actually more expensive, slightly more. I mean, it's just, small difference, but it's more expensive than the Interceptor. I'd expected the Interceptor to be more expensive. So, availability. The KTM Duke, it's available right away. There's absolutely no waiting period. For the Interceptor, he says I have to wait a month and a half. Now, of course, I don't know for sure, that may increase. But the ravishing red color, that's the red and black combination on the tank, that's currently available, so it's I can go and buy it immediately. All other color combinations I have to wait a month and a half for. The ravishing red, it doesn't look bad, so I could go with it, but what should I do? I mean, these two bikes, both being immediately available and both costing the same, which one should I get, if either of them at all? So that's the question, and that's something I will be pondering on for the next few days, I think. So yeah, guys, that's that's my situation right now. Talk to you later. Bye bye. When you compare the Interceptor and the 390 Duke, there's one thing I gotta say: the KTM feels much more refined in terms of, I mean, the build quality, all the various things that you touch and feel and look at, they feel a lot more premium and better quality than the Royal Enfield. Not that the Interceptor parts are bad, but the KTM is just quite a bit better.